Community activist Andries Tatane's killing by police during a service delivery protest in a democratic South Africa left the country stunned. He was shot by rubber bullets at close range during a protest for water. His death, captured on TV by a media crew, echoes in the memory of many South Africans. And 13 years after Tatane's tragic death, water provision is still a challenge in the Sesotho local municipality. According to Free State Community Safety MEC, the province recorded 215 service delivery protests between April 2020 and November 2023. Sesotho Executive Mayor says since Tatane's passing, the municipality has been addressing infrastructure backlogs.
Since I think 2011, there was a serious challenges in Sesotho in general of the service delivery, but in the main, it was the issue of the water infrastructure. But since 2012 to date, that backlog of the infrastructure in Sesotho, it has been addressed. Here in Ficksburg, the last project that we were busy with, we just completed it in 2023 in August to be precise.
Mbiwe admits that there have been challenges such as maintenance that the municipality has been dealing with.
Coming again to Ficksburg and Miqhele in general, we still have a little bit of challenge of sewage spillages, mainly because there was a long time overdue project of the bulk infrastructure, which is now going to be completed in this financial year by Department of Water and Sanitation. What do be left for us to do quickly? It will be the internal reticulation as far as the sewage spillage is concerned, and then will be done.
Opposition parties hold a different view.
Sesotho municipality is not doing justice to the communities of Sesotho when it comes to the provision of water, clean running water. For the past 2-3 weeks in Sesotho, in Flokolan, residents were complaining about a polluted water that had some worms in it and it was undrinkable. Here in Makwat, for many years, people have been struggling with the provision of water. In fact, you can see a dam wall that has collapsed and it hasn't been fixed. Year after year, there's been promises that it will be fixed, but till to this day, we are seeing a disaster.
For 66-year-old Thokozile Matobako of Bloemfontein, access to free piped water was one of the highlights of democracy. She has lived in this house in Rocklands since 1968. Over the years, poor services have become a norm as government grapples with an influx of people into the area. The ailing infrastructure and water outages have not helped matters. Matobako recalls a time when her family used a communal tap, but described access to piped water as life-changing.
After 1994, things became better. We got piped water here in the yard. We could do so much more. Water our gardens, even washing our blankets was no longer a difficult task.
Matobako says when there's a water outage, she feels depressed as nothing moves without water.
There is nothing we can do without water. We bath, we cook, we drink. There is absolutely nothing we can do. It becomes difficult. We do laundry. That is why I store water in the buckets, so that when there is an outage, I'm safe.
Service Delivery Monitoring Agency, Afrobarometer, has found that South Africa falls under countries on the continent where water provision ranks third among the most important problems that citizens want their government to address.
It's correct, according to our research, that ailing infrastructure is also one of the reasons. But however, the major reason which citizens highlighted to be the problem for water shortages is the issue of corruption. 82% of South Africans indicate that the government is failing to address corruption, and they strongly believe that challenges that are being faced when it comes to service delivery are all rooted on corruption.
In the Maludeapofu municipality, allegations of corruption were cited as a factor impacting negatively on services. Anti-corruption watchdog Corruption Watch says mismanagement, maladministration and corruption in municipalities are the top 3 reasons service delivery has declined in the country.
In terms of service delivery, particularly in the provision of water, again, there have been allegations and investigations into various types of schemes with collusion of local councillors and water tank service providers, sabotage to the infrastructure to then create the need for private service providers to come in. This kind of syndicated criminal activity must be choked at the source.
Singh adds that such criminality should be dealt with more seriously.
Provision of basic services is what the Constitution demands of government. This notion of the progressive realization of rights and declining standards in the water and sanitation sector are really worrying when it comes to thinking about how we're progressing as a constitutional democracy in terms of the realization of rights.
Afrobarometer emphasizes that the South African government should deal with corruption to restore the hope for delivery of services. It recommends that officials should be employed according to merit, as some are in positions and roles they know nothing about. Kamogelo Siekwi, SABC News, Ficksburg.